now. Just like lay down right here, kind of relax. It's not that the show's boring or anything. It's just that some days I get in here and the topics are so heavy that I almost feel like I'm in a trance. It's just really weird. And today is one of those days. I had 7 hours sleep last night. I don't know what's going on. I was so hyper yesterday, made my head spin. But today, go ahead, CJ.
It was in 2009.
It was in 2009. Thank you for fact-checking that. So my memory's great sometimes, other times I can't remember. So I said 5 years ago I was correct.
Yep.
All right, there we go. My pea-brain was accurate yet again. All right. I want to continue with your calls, but Kurt Haskell's on the plane, and he sees the whole thing staged. There's a guy for the last hour of the flight just sitting there, 2 seats behind Muttalib, the puppet. They put a fake video out of him, everything. Videotaping him. Then they get him all off the plane, tell everybody to shut up about what they saw. I mean, the whole thing was staged. And then he said that he saw a sharp-dressed man get Muttalib on the plane without an ID, passport, anything, without a visa. And it turned out it was an unnamed U.S. federal agency / FBI liaison, CIA liaison. Both agency names came up, but let him on the plane, international security, and they followed his orders and put him on the plane for the underwear bombing. They put a drugged-up patsy on the plane, the son of an ambassador. And if you don't know that stage, well, I got, you know, a bridge I'm willing to sell you in Brooklyn. It's mine, and I own it. And if you'll buy that, I'll throw the Golden Gate in free, to quote George Strait. Maybe next segment we can come in with Amarillo by morning. I think that is the best. We could have a whole radio show.
Why not oceanfront property?
Oceanfront property. I got some oceanfront property in Arizona, and from my front porch you can see the sea. And if you'll buy that, I'll throw the Golden Gate in free. I just love George Strait. Let's go listen to George Strait instead of worrying about the New World Order. I mean, I'm sick of the government being so evil. I'm sick of it being so bad. I'm sick of so much stuff being totally staged. It's just really scary. But what's more scary is not admitting it and do something about it. Josh in Georgia, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Alex, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Thanks for holding.
Yes, thank you for having me. First-time caller, long-time listener. And I wanted to bring up 2 things. First off, with Eric Holder, I believe that the dude has to step down just because there is so much junk against him. And the way that people view him now, he's just not viewed as that Obama savior as when Obama ran in 2008. And what they're going to do is, what I believe, replace him with somebody who is going to fulfill the things that he is not going to be able to fulfill just because of how he's viewed and how people look at him now.
You think it'll be a woman just to play that stunt up for the coming of Hillary, our savior?
That is very possible. Now, the next thing I wanted to bring up to you was something that was signed into law and just swept under the news, but it's affecting us everywhere. It's the Dodd-Frank law. I've been a mortgage loan originator for 5 years. And my company had to cease and desist October 13th, 2013, because in one day, 400 new laws were implemented under the Dodd-Frank law, and that caused our company to cease and desist. Now, the fact is, we were not breaking any laws, but these new compliance laws that came into effect were written so strategically to our advertising, to the way that we're able to do our business, we had to cease and desist so that we wouldn't break any laws. So we have non-depository banks all around America. They're going to be shutting down, and it's going to be propping up these big banks, these new regulations, and that's what's going to take over is these new banking regulatory agencies. When the local banks shut down, we're going to be bound by the money changers. And
the head of the Texas Banking Association 4 years ago wrote a huge piece that I saw in the Austin Business Journal, but it was syndicated through business journals all over the state. And you'd have thought I had written it. You would have thought that you had written it. I mean, he said exactly that, and I've read the regulations. I've looked at the synopses. It is meant to shut down credit unions, small banks, and red tape everybody, and was literally written by J.P. Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, all the usual suspects. And you're absolutely right. And it is a travesty that they've done this.
Yeah, no, I agree. And what we're going to see now, the regulatory agencies, all we see coming into place now are these lawmakers. I've never heard so many news articles with new lawmakers coming up with new policies, new regulations, new laws. I've never seen so many laws come into effect.
Yeah, they're the ones that wrote it all with the derivatives and the mega banks and giving poor people loans that couldn't pay it back. And they're still doing all that. They've increased the derivatives. That's been in mainstream news. They've accelerated it, and they've used their fraud to get regulations in to only shut down their competition, the local banks that are the lifeblood of any community, while lobbying to stop the formation of state banks and things like that. We need diversity in banking. That's why it's important, folks, that if you've got an international business and you need a big mega bank, fine, have one. But have your money in a local bank. You usually get better service anyways. I mean, there are so many good local and regional banks, and people don't bank with them. They are insane. They are crazy. And if you don't try to go get your home mortgage with a smaller company, I just think you're nuts. It really comes down to that. Besides, a big bank will end up buying your mortgage anyway, so they end up winning in the end no matter what we do, it seems. All right, more calls straight ahead, and we have a special guest, top investigator. More incredible leads on Sandy Hook being a false flag. Before I do that, it will sell out today. Believe me, I wish we had enough to supply everybody. We didn't want to wait 12 weeks. That's not a sales tactic. About, I don't know, 20% of what's going to come in came in. They were able to get an early batch into us. These are very proprietary, patented ingredients at strengths and concentrations that nobody else is putting out. You can find synthetic stuff out there, and it's still very expensive. This is not. It's DNA Force, true NutriMedical, and you can read about all the amazing things it's on record doing. I got to warn you, though. If you got nerve damage and stuff, saying your knees or your elbows and stuff, when a lot of people called, we warned you about this, you get numb. And that's because the nerves are growing back. I mean, we can actually say that because these are patented. This is proven. The ingredients in here. Go watch the specific details. Read about it at InfoWarsLife.com. Now, we also have AccuPower. That's kind of the poor man's version of it. Excellent as well. And then we have Lung Cleanse. This helps me with my larynx. It helps me when I'm giving a speech. It helps me, get over a cold quicker or clearly not get one. I know a very well-known country musician, I'll just leave it at that, who started using this in the last year since it came out, takes it on tour with him to Europe, you name it. And he was just here at the office, I don't know, like a year ago when some test bottles were here, and I said, hey, try this. And now he's got a lot of different lozenges and things he tries to use. Obviously, as a singer, that's what they do. They've all been discarded for InfoWars Lung Cleanse, and now he buys it by the case and gives it to his musician friends. I'm going to leave it at that. But the point is, get your Lung Force, start using it as we go into the winter, and it supports the entire transmission and everything we do. InfoWarsLife.com, InfoWars Lung Cleanse, InfoWarsLife.com, or 888-253-3139. We've got all the new Molon Labe Special Forces 50 cal style. And InfoWarsLife.com, InfoWarsStore.com is the master site, but Made-in-1776.com is the sub-site where all the Made in America apparel resides. And please support our local AM and FM affiliates. Spread the word about them to your friends and family. Like them on Facebook and Twitter. And become a sponsor or support those sponsors. And let them know why you're supporting them. Your calls, a special guest, and more. Third hour, straight ahead.
This is GCN, the Genesis Communications Radio Network.
General, what do you think about the FBI saying that there's a terror alert on Monday about a potential Fort Hood situation?
The police are shoving people, shoving Alex, shoving the crowd.
Here we go, folks. I'm being assaulted.
Whether it's the radio show, the news websites, documentary films, or the nightly news, InfoWars is the tip of the spear.
Is this another false flag stage attack to take our civil liberties and put more homeland security on sticking their hands down on the pants on the streets?
It's up to us to set brush fires in the minds of men and women everywhere. And that's what PrisonPlanet.tv is designed to do.
You watch, the Assad regime is going to be blamed or accused of using chemical weapons against the so-called rebels.
What we see now is a war against reality. It's a war against the truth.
It's more vital than ever that supporters of freedom become members of PrisonPlanet.tv and share their membership with up to 11 friends and family. Visit InfoWarsNews.com today. Become a member, share your membership, and help take the InfoWar to the next level.